there.
Online.
And there we made it a little yoga exercise, and then we did some pranayama. There's divers who do this, holding the breath long time and just free diving. And they can hold the breath even 5 minutes, 7 minutes. Amazing.
7 minutes?
That's the maximum. It's possible.
Swimming people.
Swimming, diving.
Yes, what you're talking about. Diving, diving down.
So,
Yeah.
yesterday I was talking with Bo, he was calling me and explaining this situation, what he has been talking with Museovirasto.
Yeah.
And he has been in frequent contact with Pekka Kärki in Museovirasto many times this year and last year and the day before. And so he has like a good connection already there. And he has been talking with Pekka that after his holiday, when he is back next Monday, Bo will call him and then they will decide what day Bo can go there and have a meeting about this Kajaani renovation and excavation co-project. Because they are going to start the working there in Kajaani, Museovirasto, already sometime this month, August. Maybe after 15th of August they start to do something there, which means renovating the walls and stones and whatever. But the thing is that their main focus is of course not to make excavation in the yard to search for the golden bog, but they have been like showing green light that if there is possibility to make excavation in a professional level, they will agree with that. They will give permission to that. So now the thing is that if this excavation is actually done by Museovirasto people, by themselves, and financed by a second party, or if the project is managed under different archaeologists, in case that they say that their price is quite high, then we can try to have our own archaeologist to manage the project. And then we just try to find a sponsor to this project, for example, some video company or broadcasting company who would be interested to make a documentary film.
That's Bo's idea.
This is Bo's idea.
Not the idea of the museum.
No.
Did they say precisely something about money? How much money?
This I don't know. I was just talking with Bo briefly, short, so 5 minutes.
Is that okay?
But next week, when Bo has been talking with Pekka Kärki, we will know more. And Bo was asking if you can stay a couple of days more, because he is planning to come here Tuesday, Wednesday, next week.
That's why we already talked about it. In that case, if Bo, he has been anyway already 5 years running in and out of this Museovirasto, so he has this contact with these people and he is on good speaking terms with them. So it can also be not so clever for us to put our nose there in between, no? And maybe leave it to him to do this thing. So if he feels to come here on Tuesday, Wednesday, he can go there and find out what he can find out. So we
You
can
might even
anyway,
see him,
yeah, we see him then.
but you
And
don't have to
he,
stay longer.
But we don't must put pressure on him.
On whom?
On Bo there,
He can go by his speed as long as he can
because
accomplish what
anyway
he wants to
he has been
accomplish.
finding there one opening, through all his action, and it would be pity to spoil it,
Sure,
just because you want to,
But that's the point. It's at a certain moment there's interest from us, and I think there's also some public interest on what has been found there, and so in this way, actually, I personally would feel better if we would bring in an archaeologist who's not connected to the museum, And secondly, cover this whole thing by video, either by ourselves or by some professional company
Or
who
by-
has a documentary on
Yeah.
it.
It's
Yes.
better to have some professional who anyway knows how to take the shooting scenes and the
Yeah,
whole thing. I
that's-
mean, you anyway can do your cameras.
That would be
It's no
of course the
problem.
best, but they've got to understand what they're actually doing there.
Yeah, but that is not,
Yeah.
it's not such a big deal.
No. That's what the discussion with Udo was. That's actually the really big deal. And
Why?
this is the big deal. But what actually he found out, because the interest of these people is something completely different than the interest that we have.
Yeah.
They are after a sensational story maybe, but they don't see at all, how can they, what the story actually means for when really something comes out. And as much as I know, he has been talking with this program from ProSieben, but he hasn't got a chance yet actually to.
Which is quite a horrible station, anyways.
I mean, it's like you're saying these people. What would you think? Make a documentary about the regalia of the last heathen king or the last Finnish king, which are buried somewhere in the Caucasus. They go, oh wow, that's great, good idea. He didn't even mention something about the golden bock yet. Just the regalia of the last Finnish king. That's how he got them actually. A little bit on Santa Claus and put it up and.
I mean, we can't sit there for the next 6 weeks trying to explain
No.
for them what it's about.
No, actually, I don't know. I actually
What's the
gave an
point?
email to Udo yesterday. I haven't gotten a reply yet. How far he is with this thing. I think he is not any further than last week. Because he's not pushing the whole thing at all. You know? In this way, a company who invests actually would invest, let's say, 200,000 marks into a project like this. That would mean 100,000 marks or 80,000 marks for the excavation, and then another 80,000, 100,000 marks for flights, hotel, cameraman,
Salary, no bullshit.
Yeah.
Normal.
and who invests 200,000 marks, they want to have something. Then they say, okay, we've got the media rights on this. That would be probably a deal.
Yeah, of course, we have to be careful with such a thing.
Yeah, and the surveillance, not surveillance, the supervision of the whole project should be in our hand, not in theirs. This is also a point.
Well, then you have to actually put the money down by ourselves. In this case, you have everything under control in our small group of people.
Yeah.
And in this case, if it is actually possible to bring the money on the table, then I would recommend it is definitely better to get an archaeologist of our own choice, which is independent, because anyway you can tell him basically what to do and not to surprise us with any cover-up in the end.
Yeah, right.
Which this Museovirasto, I'm not so sure, you never know.
Yeah.
What
I don't trust them.
surprise they have in stock for us,
I
if
don't-
they actually do have a finding.
I don't trust these people in this way.
And if they actually come
Especially
forward
like
and say,
second
well,
country.
you know, you can also bring an archaeologist of your choice, as long as it's one expert. You can do your thing while we do our thing here, and this is okay. And anyway, I mean, we would give the money to Museovirasto and pay them for doing the job. So somebody else, you know, we might also give the money to somebody else, who might even be cheaper.
We have been talking with Poo that to have one archaeologist, not from Finland but from abroad, is maybe good, because Finland is so small country that here in the archaeology area everybody has some kind of connection. So he has been talking with Turha Erdal and Kontiki Museum and having one expert from there, Øystein Johansen, who is interested. And Øystein is planning to go to Bolivia at the end of August, but he was very willing if something is going to move here already before that. He can change his plans and come over here.
Then let's get him.
Let's do it like that.
Let's
If he gets the money flowing by that time,
Yeah.
because he needs them.
Then actually we pay him.
He is
You
a
pay
quite
his-
busy man, traveling here and there and everywhere, and he has like quite strict time schedule. But he said he can stay a couple of weeks here and as a special expert and doing something. But I believe that the practical thing have to be done by maybe some other people also. But he can be there as a manager, supervisor, in a certain level.
But who can we get then to film this thing for us?
Whom to film?
Or maybe Udo knows somebody. You
Yeah.
have all this connection, you know, maybe
Yeah,
you know
but
some
might
private.
be nice if people here is also people who make film and thing. And I mean, if somebody has the feeling, we have had here before people who make film in this story. There is nice camera guy who has
Who's
been
this guy who
doing here
makes
this
the Temple
Temple
movie?
movie. He was nice film, voila. I mean, if there is interest.
I think there is interest. Like this
I
Temple
mean-
movie has been doing by Yle or financed by Yle documentary department. So just a phone call there if they are interested to
To
follow.
do it.
Yeah, because
I mean-
anyway, part of the story already. Huh?
Of course.
Mm.
I think it can be nice if this is also done by the Finnish people by themselves. Why to get people from the other side of the planet for to make one opening of one waterhole in the Kayan, you know. I mean, when they are here already with all their equipment and machinery, and for them it's only to drive in one car 500 kilometers. And all the other, it is again hotels and casino and aeroplane tickets, and it costs 50,000 before you know it. And here they do it for free, no? After they've been making
Yeah,
it.
but it's just then also you have to clear up who's getting the right for doing this
No.
material. Huh?
Yeah.
Not that they say we did the film, so we control what we do with it.
Yeah, but I mean, what is this? This is for
Then
me.
you can also give it to somebody who is paying for the excavation,
Yeah.
because it doesn't make a difference then.
I don't know.
We can make even a deal that if something is found and they have this documentary film and they can even make some selling with this film if they make it into international level and they can sell it abroad, and then we can cover our costs. We can make this kind of paper
Yeah.
with the filming company.
Yeah.
That in case
They're
that
gonna make millions on this material. If we find something, it's for them $1 million deal.
It's very big.
the only thing is that Finnish
Shouldn't
people are very
sound
bad making this kind of business.
Well,
Not Finnish.
no, I mean it's just a
If
more-
an American company would come, they for sure they make many ten of millions.
Well, as I know, the Finnish are not so stupid in making money as you see with the Nokia company, for example.
We are. That's the difference. We are
all the
Nokia
stocks are
company.
going down.
They're quite okay with making money here, I would say.
No,
Yeah, why
it-
not? Why not actually?
It is only that somebody who is actually fit enough to do such a production is not exploiting it in such a way that the presentation is not in our interest, but it's just another Ooga Booga story which is put on top, and also, you know, it's some materials that actually would be very nice if we can, you know, have access to it and maybe use it later on.
Plus, if like official broadcasting company from Finland is participating in the project, it also makes the public interest in a special way, which I think is positive
Yeah.
in this case. Because it makes certain pressure also to Museovirasto that they just can't say whatever, because now they have set a project where is our project is officially accepted and proceeding like what has been said, so they can't stop it like that. And even if there is like Finnish broadcasting company, also there it makes even more precise this whole thing.
You would know whom to approach in this way.
Yeah, documentary department in Yle.
Yle Radio TV. Yeah, Yle Nelson.
Do you know them personally?
Personally, I know some journalists in Yle who are coming to yoga.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem. And with them it is much more easy to speak through this thing than when you have to start to make all kind of deal with people on the other end. Because there also the material is going there. That's the other side. Yeah? If you go to Germany, do it with ProSieben, then also the material is going to Berlin.
Sure.
Straight after they are ready, the cello.
You have more control.
The thing is, what they're going to do, they're going to sell this material very expensive to all over the planet.
Well, let them do it.
No problem.
Who gives a shit? I have no problem with it. If they want to make $50 million trillion with that, if they are happy with that, let them do it. You know. I mean, we are not finished then.
Okay, but we could actually figure out a contract with whoever makes this filming, Finnish or German company, that they're going to cover the expenses that we had.
Of course.
Yeah, so
Of course. I mean, that is, why not?
yes, to cover our cost is because for me this is
No,
Why
just a
does it-
cultural project. It's
And
not
maybe
to make any profit.
Not to make it money. No?
Maybe.
Just to, yeah.
But also not to lose any money if somebody
No.
else makes a big profit on it.
Nobody of us wants to take again their last pennies and throw it in one hole like that again. No? I mean, we can get something together. But not to just say here, you know, because look, yeah, enough is enough, you know. I mean, basta then, no more. You know. Yeah, so there I think it's reasonable, no? So then we can keep it in own regie also. Then we collect
But
this
one
paper.
idea came. So our point is to cover our cost,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
But if something very important comes up and there is a general interest to get this information, actually buying the movie, the documentary film, then we can make this kind of that we get like 10%, 20% to an account to proceed with this project, for
Right.
example.
Yeah, for
Exactly,
Right.
for Offerlunden or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is, I think, is also a good idea to just, because the next money will be needed, and also because it just
It
continues.
just continues. No?
And
Yeah.
in this way, we shouldn't just say, well, we don't want anything. I mean, we don't want anything for ourselves,
Right.
but at least it should be the situation that we can continue.
Right.
Yeah, and then maybe it's not necessary because maybe after that they understand it all different companies around Finland by themselves. That
Yes.
now we have to stop with this nonsense and let's help them and finish this thing.
Mm.
Yeah,
But also,
but we can cover our ass by doing like that, no?
Mm.
And if we make use of that money, what is then generated or not, that is up to us.
Mm.
Yeah, just make it one account, I mean, whatever, and then the next cost can
and
be
put
paid for
that
that.
all on a very clear contract just before this whole thing starts. You know?
Mm.
I mean, that's usual in the business world anyway.
Yes.
Of course, there's a lot of money involved, huh?
Mm.
And let's say they cover the costs of that we have, or whoever puts the money down for what is needed
Mm.
from now on. And there should be a conto, or maybe even foundation. Stuart Rice is good in that. We have already
Far away.
foundation, positive foundation, where Stuart Rice is not our president actually. But anyway,
No, it's not exist anymore, you know.
But
positive
but
foundation
somebody
in
has
the
to-
bureaucracy.
has to put that orderly together, like open the account in his name in the form of for further projects in this direction. then we could actually work here a bit more.
Somebody trustworthy, of course.
Mm.
That this disappears in a black hole. I mean, we've experienced that before.
We have 13 years of experience, so not so bad.
I mean, even if you would go on like this, I can imagine that this whole thing could be done with 10 or 20,000 marks. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I think so too.
If we got, but what we need still, or even if Boo gets it, or if we get it, I don't know, is a very clear written thing from the museum, black and white paper, that this is that's really their intention. Because then we can either approach film companies, or we can approach sponsors, or people who are interested in financing. We can show them something. This is important. Otherwise, I'm just blah blah blah.
Correct.
And that's the one thing. And if we can get this archaeologist from Norway, we tell him, look, okay, when you can come now, it's all, we put it all in our bill. What takes it for him? I don't know.
Well, it's the archaeologist, it's Kopponen again, he has to come. It's
Yeah.
some people who actually have the shovel or the bobcat and actually do the digging, so it's maybe like 4 people already involved. And they have to be paid. And it has to be clear how much they charge for whatever they do, so that this money can be.
Even if it would be 50, 60, 100,000 Finnish mark,
Whatever.
Let's say like that, much more it can't be.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to dig a hole 3.5 meter deep, and then there is one box there, and we have to lift it up and take it out. No, that was it.
I
So
think
it
it's-
means 3, 4, 5 people who is there officially involved, of which you have to pay the transportation and the salary and the hotel if they have to stay over the night. So with 50,000 you come already very far. No?
Mm.
Yeah, I think.
And usually they even use local
Local, yeah.
people
Right.
who have archaeology as a hobby.
Sure. And we can get bobcat in Kajani and we can get everything from there. No?
I think this is even cheaper than when Museovirasto is doing it by themselves.
Yeah, but I think that is the...
Let's do this.
No way. No way.
Because,
No.
no, that's what I say. Because I don't trust them really. And I think they're more expensive. They just put any number on it.
Of course, they can put also any number. I mean, the numbers we have been hearing, what has to be put into dig one hole 3.5 meter deep is unbelievable. You know? I mean, for that I dig there for 2 years, 3 years for free. You know, like really, yeah, for that amount. You know? So if I can't reach it in 3 years time, 3.5 meter deep, then I'm also useless. No?
It's a little bit like with any other job, like when you build a house, you're not just going to one person and ask, or one company, how much do you charge, but you also get a little bit an idea how much it is if somebody else is doing it.
What also would be good if you could.
One difficulty. Oh
Yeah.
yes, please go on.
No, just you can.
Yeah, because in the archaeological field work, there's always surprises coming up.
Right.
Yeah, so when you start to dig the ground, you never know what you find from this area.
1 second.
Yes.
We can finish that discussion very quickly because they have been building this bridge there in 1920.
Yeah.
And in order to build that bridge there, they had to make one foundation for that bridge,
Mm.
to support
Mm.
this bridge.
Mm.
And in that moment, 1920, they have been digging one flat
Mm.
space on this island.
Mm.
So they have already been digging in the ground there, everything.
1 meter, 2 meters.
2
something
meter
like
deep or something, whatever. So, okay, in that case the surprise would come between 2 meters
After 2 meters,
and
but
3.5.
yeah, but we can save quite much already. 2 meters is very much to make one shovel and brushing
But
every centimeter.
The first 2 meters they can dig just with one
Yes.
bucket,
Mm.
and after they can look maybe with a pencil and their teaspoon, no
Mm.
problem. No? But if we have there the component with his measurement machinery, no?
Yes.
And he do it again straight in front of their nose
Mm.
after they've been digging there 2 meters deep,
Mm.
I think we have solved the whole problem in the same second.
Mm.
We have also to stay realistic, no? And
Mm.
they will also they can't be that stupid.
Mm. So now we know the spot there.
Yeah.
So first, like let's say 2 meters away, then component comes to the side and makes checking, and then we decide how to
To
follow.
proceed.
Mm.
That can't be a big problem.
No.
I don't think there is coming any surprise what make
What
that
thing?
these things. Oh, maybe you never know. In Mamma Mia, they can find one dinosaur above there, and it will take 10 years more. For sure. Yes, please.
It would be what I wanted to say. Was it would be good if you give a ring to Udo, and if you gave him a little email yesterday. But actually, just blah blah a little bit, and I mean, it all depends on what's happening next week. It looks like.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I have anyway feel to put my nose there.
No, it's maybe much better like this.
Maybe that's much better. Let's leave this thing there to Boo to speak to this Kerky, because when we go there, the Kerky for sure he get crazy. Maybe not,
Yeah,
but you can't be sure.
I mean, the last meeting was quite friendly anyways. When we go through. It was not such.
But anyway, he was like anyway showing green light for the project,
Yeah,
and maybe if too many people come straight away there, he may back up.
yeah, that's what I mean. We don't want to scare him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has no idea what he's getting into unless he has been reading all this paper and think that maybe they can be right. No, and then of course maybe he said that's very welcome and very nice that you are here still and blah 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 blah. But I don't expect that kind of thing. I don't expect anything from them in that way. Although of course they can't deny the fact that this thing anyway just seems to go on. So if they have been making the opening anyway for us, it means also that they have been accepting that it's there. Or that it can be there. Let's say like that. Interesting. Very interesting. I give Boo one call after so he can relax also. He doesn't feel there now to run around like one banana.
Well, the only thing is, if actually Museo Viasta is agreeing to everything, given some written statements, then it needs somebody who is actually taking the time and interest to look into who could facilitate such a thing. That means like who could be the one who's doing the archaeological side, like maybe this guy from Norway, or maybe there's somebody else, or just getting all the contacts together, Kopponen, and it just requires some time and energy and interest, of course. And the question would be who is doing such a thing, because from Germany everything like that is much more complicated.
Yeah, it's too complicated.
And it's anyway very nice if Finnish people can do such a thing.
I think we can do something with Timo. Me and Timo, for example. I'm leaving, traveling 4 weeks, 6th of September.
You start.
Pardon?
You start on the 6th of September.
6th September, I'm 4 weeks away from Finland.
6th of September I am back again in Holland.
Good. But I believe Timo is here because he is working now full day, every day in the office. So he can be
Yeah.
on that time as a contact person.
But Mamma Mia, if they got to do this now in August, then they're really upsetting my schemes here, you know.
I don't see it happen in August. I really don't see it now.
Well, let's
So-
see, you never know, you never know, man. I mean, one day it should happen, no? So it can happen just like that.
Of course, after 10 years waiting,
I
it's
will
not
see.
not so easy to think that, okay,
It's such a
tomorrow they
thing, yeah.
start.
You get disillusioned every year a little bit more.
In the end, when you are, in the end, when they dig it up, you probably sit in some godforsaken jungle and you don't even know about it. That should be typical.
No, it's nice if you can enjoy.
Oh yeah, I mean, I will relax with that,
Email
no
and
problem.
everything. I mean, nowadays it's no problem at
I
all.
don't-
No? You just don't
They
know
do
it
it.
and everybody is informed.
They do it, it's really perfect with me, wherever I am. Yes, very interesting. Very. Huh? Imagine, huh? That you're doing in the next weeks.
If they agree and we got the paper, then we can relax.
Yeah, you can really relax.
Really.
But we want that in black on white.
This is Stan.
Or I would
Museovirasto stand.
His
or I would
signature.
like to put this camera in front of his nose. Can you say that into this camera?
No, we only need one paper.
If we come there with camera in front of his nose, he gets for sure paranoia.
Oh, he can later on talk to the camera.
Yeah. Oh, so it has gone so bad now with Museovirasto that they can only have salary and can't do anything. Actually, quite luxury position, this Museovirasto people. I mean, they're already in pension, man. They get everyday salary and they have to do nothing. You know?
If you imagine in 1990s they want 50,000 marks for digging up a 4-meter deep hole, now maybe they want 250,000.
Yeah, they were saying like,
Of course, then maybe by now they get 5 times the salary, so they have no more money for.
of course. No, this is really. I mean, I think it's very nice for them, no problem.
But anyway, okay, but the financing is at the moment is still not clear.
Because how can we make financing if we don't know what is going on? You know? Yeah, well, I want to know 100% what's going on. When we know 100% what's going on, then we can also find this financing, no problem. No problem. I think.
No problem.
Yeah, okay,
If you
little,
really
little,
know-
little problem. But,
If you really know what's going to happen,
a
then
little bit sweating again. Yeah, how many times you...
Should we think some amount, how much to put there? What is possible to put there?
well, first
What?
it is difficult
So
because
if we see that, okay, they give us a paper and we agree, okay, this is a good planning, good way to plan, and so much we can, how much money we can put there into the project.
as
We
little
know.
as possible. I mean, we have to find out how much will Kapunen take for doing such a job, how much will this archaeologist